Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that.
Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping two divisions.
Terence Crawford being, to me, my favorite fighter. I mean, the best fighter pound for pound can be Canelo. I mean, a 147 pounder moving up to 68.
Floyd Mayweather breaks down why Terence Crawford has little chance of defeating Canelo Alvarez, stressing the major weight gap between them. He highlights that moving up several classes isn't only about talent but about enduring strength, power, and stamina at the highest level. Canelo has consistently faced naturally larger rivals in his career, while Crawford is venturing into unfamiliar ground. Mayweather believes this physical edge will be too much for Crawford to handle despite his exceptional skill.
Because of the weight disadvantage. I can't go all the way up to 180 or 190 pounds.
Robert Garcia stresses that Terence Crawford's inexperience at super middleweight presents one of the toughest tests of his career. Though Crawford has dominated across different divisions, entering Canelo Alvarez's natural weight class is far riskier than his past jumps. Garcia points out that Canelo has long refined his abilities against naturally bigger opponents, while Crawford has yet to show he can keep his speed, sharpness, and stamina at a heavier frame. He adds that Crawford's body hasn't fully adjusted to the added weight, making him look less explosive. Against a seasoned champion like Canelo, who thrives in this division, that gap could prove decisive.
Jumping two divisions where he only had one fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that, and that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford, but I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
appreciate
for coming.
it. Thank you.
Very
Cheers.
much.
The analyst highlights the enormous stakes surrounding the Canelo versus Crawford showdown. He insists that if Crawford can conquer Canelo's size and power, his legacy would reach new levels, placing him alongside Floyd Mayweather in the all-time great debate. Defeating a star of Canelo's caliber would cement Crawford as the best pound-for-pound fighter of his era, eliminating doubts about his resume. Still, showbiz makes clear this wouldn't instantly put Crawford above Mayweather, whose perfect record and dominance remain unmatched. Instead, it would elevate Crawford just beneath him in the historical order. Even so, the opportunity to achieve such status makes this fight a career-defining moment.
3-time undisputed is insane. If you were to beat Canelo, Terence Crawford, at that point, pound for pound, right under Floyd. Wherever you got Floyd, I put whatever you got him, Terence Crawford is right behind him. Unless you got him first. Okay, how about me? Because I don't have Floyd in my top 10. I have Pacquiao over Floyd. So I know somebody's about to get moist, but I would put Terence Crawford, man, that's old school. That's Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford. Like that's old. That's Joe Gans and Barbados Joe Walcott and Barbados Joe, not Jersey. I'm Barbados. Like that's old school accomplishments. Man, that's throwback though. I would have to assess that. 3-time undisputed in the 4-belt era, and against who? Yo, that I don't think Pacquiao would have I don't think he achieved anything in a single fight that would be greater than Terence Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes and beating Canelo. I don't think Pacquiao achieved anything in a single fight greater than that. Not in a single fight. Beating Cotto, I still, because Cotto was weight drained. Has Floyd done anything? Well, he beat Canelo.
Jeff Mayweather sharply responds to Canelo Alvarez's claim that Crawford surpasses Floyd. He argues the statement has less to do with reality and more to do with Canelo trying to uplift himself through comparison. Jeff explains that because Canelo was soundly beaten by Floyd, saying Crawford is better allows him an indirect excuse for that loss. While acknowledging Crawford's talent, Jeff insists he has yet to reach Floyd's level of dominance or accomplishments. For him, Floyd's unbeaten record and consistent victories over elite opposition speak louder than any comparison, and Crawford must achieve much more before entering that discussion.
Much more.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20 something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very very young in the game,
very
obviously.
Young, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose?
20s.
I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Don't you?
Want to make himself look like he did something great.
Joel Diaz completely dismisses Crawford's chances, pointing directly to the vast size disparity. He reminds fans that Canelo has battled powerful punchers known for toughness and durability. If Canelo could withstand the blows of someone like Golovkin, Diaz doubts Crawford, who has only fought men closer to his own natural size, could seriously hurt him. In Diaz's view, Crawford's skills, no matter how refined, cannot compensate for the difference in physicality. He stresses that many fighters underestimate the strain of moving up in weight until they feel the strength of naturally bigger foes, and against Canelo, this challenge becomes insurmountable.
You ask them who Skull is, they won't even know who he is. I don't even know who he is, but they chose him for a reason, right? A guy with a good record. But
he's a champion in the
division. Champion.
He's got the other stone that's out there that Canelo needs to connect. Again, the fight against Terence Crawford.
It's a fight for Canelo to win. Simple as that. That's what I can tell you.
Then in September, if Canelo wins, he's got Terence Crawford waiting in the wings.
There is no way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, the best fighter pound for pound, can beat Canelo. A 147-pounder moving up to 68, he can only maybe go 2-3 rounds, good 2-3 rounds, and then Canelo hits him and he hurts him. Canelo's being hit by Triple G, the hardest hitter in the division, and never hurt him. But Canelo will hit Crawford and he'll hurt him. Let's put it this way. You remember the fight Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade?
Yes.
Demetrius Andrade was a great fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him at 54. He moved to 60. Fought 1 or 2. Nobody wanted to fight him at 60. So what did he do? He moved up to 68 because there was nothing for him to fight Benavidez, a big fighter like that. Look what he did in the first early round. Demetrius Andrade was in control. He was doing great. But once that weight starts kicking in, it takes over. There is no way that Crawford can beat Canelo. Turkey on the cheek. It's a big fan of Terence Crawford. He wants to give him a good payday, and simple as that. That's all it is, man.
The debate over ring size adds another layer to the fight strategy. Whether the ring measures 18 feet or 22 feet, most experts agree the outcome won't hinge on dimensions alone. Supporters of Crawford argue that a larger ring would give him space to use his movement and angles, allowing him to evade Canelo's pressure with his slick style. Still, analysts point out that Canelo has fought in both compact and spacious rings, adapting successfully each time. While a bigger ring might offer Crawford a slight edge, it won't cancel out Canelo's natural size and punching power. In the end, the result will come down to execution, not measurements.
One of the biggest things in this Canelo-Crawford fight we are not talking about is the ring size. If these guys are fighting in the non-traditional 18 by 18 ring, you're gonna want to put your money on Canelo, guys. It is a big difference. Losing out on that extra 4 feet is going to be an issue for Crawford. It's still possible. Crawford's talented. He's athletic. He has all the potential in the world to pull off a crazy upset here. No matter the ring size. It don't matter. Terence Crawford's that brilliant. He's that excellent. But I'm going to tell you, man, losing out on that 4 feet is going to hurt his odds. It's the same thing with 22 feet. Like I said, I don't know what ring they're going with, but if it is in the 22 feet, it's gonna hurt Canelo's odds by a pretty decent margin. Maybe not as much as it's gonna hurt Crawford odds in the 18, but it's still gonna hurt it. You're giving Crawford an extra 4 feet to pivot, maneuver, slip, bob, weave, do whatever he wants. That's gonna give Canelo some issues. I feel like we're not talking about this enough. I heard Turkey said it was gonna be an 18. That was a really long time ago. Like I said, I don't know if they've confirmed what it's gonna be quite yet, but I think it's interesting. Once we get the official announcement, you guys, that's when you place your bets.
Crawford's dominant performance against Errol Spence has fueled confidence among fans about his chances with Canelo. That victory displayed his timing, adaptability, and ruthless finishing, confirming his superiority at welterweight. Yet analysts caution that Spence is not built like Canelo, who is naturally bigger and stronger. They point to fighters like Israil Madrimov as examples of the type of size Crawford has never faced before. Meanwhile, Canelo has already taken on opponents even larger than himself and continued to compete at an elite level. The concern is that Crawford's brilliance against welterweights may not carry over when standing across from a true super middleweight powerhouse.
Hey y'all, the simple real fact is, Terence Crawford never looked that good fighting anybody but Errol Spence. Another real fact is, y'all put too much on Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Y'all act like he just beat fucking Jesus or Thanos or something. Okay, I get it. Errol Spence was that guy. He beat him. He dominated him. He won that fight. But y'all take that and y'all put so much on that fight, but then y'all look at the Madrimov fight and say, he was a tricky fighter. He's hard for anybody. No one can beat Madrimov. He's the second best fighter in the world because he went 12 rounds with Crawford. Not the case. Y'all put too much on the Errol Spence fight and y'all don't put enough on the Madrimov fight. Then we go back to Canelo. Y'all say Canelo, he don't stop nobody. When last time he knocked nobody? If he can't knock out Berlanga, he's not gonna knock out. If he can't knock out him, he's not gonna knock out Crawford, bruh. Just like Crawford went up to 54 and he couldn't get a knockout, Canelo has gone up to 75. He couldn't knock out Bivol. He went up to 68. And those guys are way bigger. He's fighting guys way bigger than him. Crawford could knock out Madrimov because he's his size. So you think he gonna knock out Canelo? He's bigger than Canelo. Bro, Canelo got a granite chin. I don't know if y'all know the Canelo. And the only people who's saying that Crawford's gonna knock Canelo out is people who has to be casuals. They probably have not watched a fight since the Tank last fight, or they probably ain't watched a fight since the Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford fight. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all niggas didn't even see that Madrimov fight. Y'all just synced it and y'all running with it. Cut it out.
Gabe Rosado recalls Canelo's defeat to Floyd Mayweather as a turning point in the Mexican star's career. At that stage, Canelo was still developing and lacked the experience to deal with a defensive genius like Floyd. Rosado explains that while the loss was humbling, it became an invaluable lesson that helped shape Canelo into who he is today. Since then, he has gained confidence, sharpened his craft, and learned to adjust to various styles. Rosado believes this growth makes Canelo much more dangerous now, and Crawford will be facing a seasoned, battle-tested version of Alvarez rather than the inexperienced one Floyd beat years ago.
Could be too soon for Xander, but who knows, man? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like Canelo needed more seasoning when he fought Floyd, or do you think that Floyd just got his number? Period.
Yeah, I think he was very inexperienced when he fought Floyd. You know, he's a different fighter, but see, everybody's different. That fight is what made Canelo become the fighter that he is today. So, you know, that's why boxing, man, is like when they shame guys for losses, it's like, man, you just got to really see how a fighter bounces back from a loss. It's like, because, you know, when Canelo lost to Floyd, there was a lot of things that Canelo learned in that fight that he added to his game. Next thing you know, Canelo started moving his head and his counters got better and his speed, and he understood timing. He understood how to like break guys down differently because he learned that off Floyd. So I think it was a good learning experience for Canelo. And then, you know, I think that kind of fight is gonna help him in the Crawford fight.
Sebastian Fundora cautions that Crawford may not realize the true toll fighting Canelo could take. Competing at super middleweight demands more than just skill. It requires long-term adaptation, something Canelo has mastered through years of facing bigger opponents. The Mexican champion has built his entire career around handling that grind, while Crawford is entering this division for the first time. Fundora warns that the physical and mental strain of stepping into this territory might weigh heavily on Crawford, with the aftermath of the fight exposing how much the challenge against Canelo cost him.
Could be. We'll see what PBC has for us.
To play with Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo, yeah.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
What about Ennis? He's the new addition to 154. He's yet to fight there. Canelo brought him in camp specifically because he's a switch hitter like Terence Crawford. What do you make of Ennis just not being in your division and then him contributing to Canelo's camp, letting into this fight? Is that a good move?
I think it's good for Canelo's camp to have a fighter like Ennis. Because, yeah, he likes to switch right-handed, southpaw. I think Canelo probably didn't need that. But, you know, the fact that Ennis went might cause a little bit of drama. I think he did for a dramatic effect. But, you know, great fighter at 147, but 154 is a different division. They have me in there, so we'll see what he can do.
There is ongoing debate about the entertainment value of Crawford's style compared to Canelo's. While Crawford is technically brilliant, some critics argue his fights lack the explosive drama that captivates casual audiences. Canelo, on the other hand, has built his name on delivering excitement, whether through knockouts, punishing body shots, or high-stakes showdowns. Analysts note that even if Crawford defeats Canelo, it doesn't guarantee he'll instantly become boxing's global star. To claim that status, he would need to beat other dangerous names like Dimitri Bivol.
More nervous, you know, the closer you get, the more outlandish these statements were. We had one outlandish one that his fighting style is not entertaining. Right? Canelo's fighting style is more entertaining than Terence Crawford's. I don't know what lens you're looking through, right? Well, why isn't Terence Crawford's fighting style entertaining? So that's one thing. Well, here's the next one. Now, check this out. They're saying that Terence Crawford won't even be great if he were to defeat Canelo Alvarez. He won't be great if he defeats Canelo Alvarez because all the stuff he's done until now, becoming two-division undisputed, beating a lot of undefeated fighters and a lot of fighters with one loss, seems to not be anything. But even beating Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing, four-division champion, undisputed super middleweight champion, none of that would matter because they list fighters that he would have to beat to become great. And most of them are fighters that four-division champ, Canelo Alvarez, that he won't fight. He would have to beat Artur Beterbiev, right? Canelo ain't fighting him. He would have to beat Dimitri Bivol, who Canelo won't fight again, definitely at 168 pounds, because he wants to fight him at 175, because he wants to have the excuse that that weight could be too big for him. Dimitri Bivol wants to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168, so he can become two-division undisputed. Canelo doesn't want that. But Crawford has to beat that guy, right? Crawford has to beat David Benavidez as well, right? We know Canelo doesn't want to fight him, but Crawford has to beat him to become great, right? Remember, Canelo's great already. Then he would have to fight David Morrell.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for more updates coming your way soon.